What's up? It's your girl Anna Talks Wrestling here. Welcome to my channel. Lace up your boots, hit the subscribe and like button, and let's get ready to dive deep into everything pro wrestling. So today we're going to be talking about the Royal Rumble and why I rated it what I did, and that's a solid 4.3 out of 10. Now let's get ready because we're about to dive deep into this one. First things first, we got to talk about one of the biggest upsets to happen in Royal Rumble history, if not the biggest, and that's the Men's Royal Rumble. Wow, just wow. I did not know WWE had it in them to hand over the win to Jey Uso when we had massive superstars like CM Punk, John Cena, the original Tribal Chief Roman Reigns, the Scottish Warrior Drew McIntyre, and Seth freaking Rollins. I mean, come on. That list is insane. And listen, I know WWE probably wanted to see that amazing Yeet celebration, but this was not the right way to do it when Jey just literally lost at Saturday night's main event the week before to Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. And we all know realistically there's no chance Jey Uso will face the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. Like, who are they trying to fool? And Jey Uso to main event WrestleMania? I mean, come on. What are we doing here? This was supposed to be the year that CM Punk got his moment to seal his first Rumble win and finally get that WrestleMania main event. And what did WWE do for CM Punk in the Rumble? They had Logan freaking Paul eliminate CM Punk. Are we serious right now? You're kidding me, right? I am still mind blown by this dumb, stupid decision. What did Logan Paul do to earn that right in the Rumble? And then not only was he in the Final Four, but also in the Final Three? I mean, what are we doing here? I know CM Punk mentioned Logan Paul once and only once before the Rumble, and that's supposed to somehow justify his elimination when there were other bigger names such as Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, who have crossed paths with CM Punk several times before. Like, just having CM Punk mention Logan Paul once right before Royal Rumble was just dumb, rushed decision just to try and make that elimination somehow look good, but it didn't. I've seen much better storytelling in the history of the Rumble, and this might be one of the worst eliminations of all time, if not the worst. And I understand people think Logan Paul looks great in the ring when he wrestles, but you know what? It's pretty easy to look good when you only wrestle 2 to 3 times a year. So it's not that impressive if you think about it when you wrestle so little. And I just cannot believe that this is the idea that WWE came up with. Like, what in the world were they thinking when they booked that? Because Logan Paul has a long way to go before he can earn a spot like that in the Royal Rumble. The Final 4 and 3 are supposed to be believable if possible. And that means any of the finalists can win. And it's not every year we get the chance to have such a believable Final 4 or 3, such as, you know, CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, John Cena, Drew McIntyre. But who do they put instead? Logan Paul. That was a massive mistake, and WWE not capitalizing on the monster roster we have right now was just completely stupid and a huge dud if you ask me. That being said, if you ask me who the Final 4 should have been, it should have been exactly like this. We should have had Roman Reigns eliminate the Scottish Warrior Drew McIntyre to start up that feud and create a build up there, obviously, because Drew is going after Roman. So that would have been a perfect chance. And then right after Roman eliminates Drew McIntyre, bam, we have Seth Rollins come in and eliminate Roman Reigns, getting one over on Roman Reigns again. That would be huge. Obviously, we know their history in the Shield, so that would have been an amazing storyline to tell as well. And then after Seth Rollins eliminates Roman Reigns, a little bit later, we have Rollins get eliminated by the one and only CM Punk to then leave CM Punk and John Cena in the final 2. I mean, let's be real. Compare those 2 finalists to literally John Cena, Jey Uso. There's a huge difference there. And even compare the Final 3. Okay, if we had John Cena, CM Punk, and then we had Seth freaking Rollins, any of those guys could win. You know, we would think maybe Seth Rollins would keep CM Punk from getting his main event. Maybe CM Punk will finally eliminate John Cena to get one up on him. Because if you remember years ago from the pipe bomb, that's what CM Punk was complaining about. He was complaining about John Cena always getting that main event spot. Okay, that alone is way better than literally having John Cena, who's washed up, retired with some young guys like Jey Uso and Logan Paul. Logan Paul makes no freaking sense there. I already talked about that. I can go on forever about how stupid that was. He has no chance of winning, and if he did, everybody would be upset. Let's be real. They only put Logan Paul because he's a social media superstar. I get it, but let's do something for the diehards here, not just for casual viewership trying to get some views here and there. I do not like that, not for that, and I'm hating how Triple H booked that. And then we also had Jey Uso, main event Jey Uso, who has been over with the crowd, who has the pop, which makes sense. However, I don't know if it's the right move to make. He's over with the crowd and he has the pop. However, I'm going to get into that in a little bit here, so stick with me because I need to talk about the fact that I did not hate CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins were all eliminated. They got into it, potentially teasing a triple threat. Okay, that is a pretty cool match if you think about it. However, I'm not too sure if I want that to be a WrestleMania match, especially without a title involved. And as we know, Gunther is holding the World Heavyweight Championship, and the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, is holding the WWE title. Are either one of them really going to lose their titles before WrestleMania? Probably not, just because we know how WWE likes to book things. Both of them are most likely walking into Mania with the titles, although I don't think they both should, because that's just way too predictable. But it seems that WWE wants to book Gunther versus Jey Uso again, which makes absolutely zero sense when Jey Uso just literally lost to him at Saturday night's main event the week before the Rumble, after they built up that match for a month, which last I remembered wasn't the best build-up I've seen. So why would we want to see that again for another 2.5 months? Of course, there is the chance that Jey Uso picks Cody Rhodes, but let's be honest, that wouldn't be the best decision for WWE to make when Cody has better, more dominant opponents to face. Now, hear me out. I'm not saying I don't like Jey Uso. I love his Yeet celebrations, but the man is terrible on the mic and cutting promos. I'm sorry, I have to say that. I mean, Yeet is the only thing he's got to say, and he can only run that for so long until the crowd becomes uninterested. And it is nice to have a true underdog finally win the Rumble. Yes, I'm not saying it's not. However, is it the best long-term booking? Absolutely not. The truth is WWE has booked Jey Uso all wrong, especially with the Saturday night's main event, and then they tried to redeem themselves by giving a Rumble win to see that Yeet celebration by Jey Uso. But sometimes we mistake someone who gets a pop as someone who's deserving of a major win, because we have to keep in mind if this person can carry a story for long, because that's what makes the true superstars. And listen, if this does in fact lead to a WrestleMania match between Gunther and Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight Championship, not only will that value of the title start to diminish and feel more like a mid-card title, the crowd is not going to care for that build-up for long. It's a terrible matchup, too predictable. Jey Uso obviously has to beat Gunther, of course, because they want to see that Yeet celebration at Mania as well. I get it. I love the Yeet celebration, but can we also take a second to remember who even started the Yeet gimmick? Because it wasn't Jey Uso, that's for sure. So if we remember the origin of Yeet, then we know that Jey Uso has not come up with his own original thing yet, and he is not great on the mic. So what are we expecting from Jey Uso from this point on? I have no idea. I mean, I love him. He's great. I'm not against him. He's just not the main event guy. Unfortunately, he's not main event Jey Uso, to tell you the truth. So enough about Jey Uso here for a little bit. Let's talk about who is facing the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, because I'm honestly still unsure about this. Is The Rock returning to face him? We can't possibly see Roman versus Cody again, right? Seth Rollins is definitely not going to face him, and I don't think there's a chance that Drew McIntyre does either. There is CM Punk, but both of them are baby faces, which isn't the worst. However, I do think that WWE might be teasing a heel turn from the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. I mean, he seems a little bit off lately, especially when he was talking to Punk on Raw. And honestly, I wouldn't be completely against it because to turn him heel might be the best thing because I'm getting a little bit bored of his gimmick. So it would definitely be interesting. However, I do think there was a reason that CM Punk eliminated Roman Reigns. There has to be something leading up for a feud between them, especially with the favor that Paul Heyman still owes CM Punk, which we have yet to find out what that favor is that Paul Heyman owes CM Punk. I am so interested to see where that's going to lead. Let's see what happens on Friday Night SmackDown because as of right now, from Monday Night Raw, CM Punk has qualified for the Elimination Chamber with his match against Sami Zayn. Of course, I mean, who didn't see that coming? Of course, CM Punk was going to win. He has to get that second chance at trying to get that main event at WrestleMania. But the question here is, will he get it from the Elimination Chamber? We'll see. And also, Seth Rollins will be facing Finn Balor next Monday Night Raw for a chance to qualify for the Elimination Chamber as well. So I do expect Seth Rollins, of course, to win. I mean, they could pull a swerve here. Highly doubt it. So if Seth Rollins does win, we are going to probably get a crazy Elimination Chamber here as we continue to see who will qualify. Because if Seth does win, which is very likely, we will already have CM Punk and Seth Rollins in the chamber. And then for some reason, John Cena has declared himself to be part of the Elimination Chamber without having to qualify, because that makes all the sense in the world. John Cena's farewell to her final run. He doesn't have to qualify for anything. He doesn't have to build up stories. We're just going to throw him into the PLEs, because why not? That makes the most sense. That's going to make the best use out of John Cena. Yeah, right. Face Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania, where I don't think this is the route that WWE should go for WrestleMania at all, because Cena unfortunately is just a washed up guy who's retiring and just gets to apparently call shots, like being in the chamber and not having to qualify and not even have to build stories up. I'm not the only one upset about this. Even CM Punk had some words to say about how John Cena just gets to call shots and literally just declare he's part of any match without having to qualify or telling any story. Makes no sense. How CM Punk is, he doesn't hold back. He's very blunt. He's very honest. Does not matter if it's kayfabe or not. Does not matter if it's breaking the fourth wall. He will tell it how it is. He did it to Cena years ago. He would do it again. So I am not the only one that thinks this. John Cena should not just be calling shots and just doing whatever he wants without telling some story. Also, I do think that there's a future potential between John Cena and Cody Rhodes for a better time than WrestleMania for sure. Last thing I have to mention about the Royal Rumble is why in the world did Matt Cardona not appear at the Royal Rumble? As far as we know, based on his interviews, he wants to return to the WWE. So why in the world are they not signing him? The two surprises we got was the TNA champ Joe Hendry and a YouTuber, Speed. Now, don't get me wrong, they were fun surprises, and that spear that Speed took from Braun Breaker was super impressive, sure. And Joe Hendry, cool. We know he's over with the crowd, but I gotta just say it. Is he over or is his song just over? Just like Jey Uso. Is Jey Uso over or is the Yeet celebration over? And I know that they can go hand in hand, but I'm just saying, take these songs and their intros out of the picture. And aren't these guys really the biggest steals in the world? Don't get me wrong. I love pops and intros and songs and everything. I am all here for it. I am a sucker for that. But I'm just saying, when it comes to booking, you gotta put something better in the Rumble. Like, come on, we had Jey Uso win, cool. Okay, our two surprises was a YouTuber and Joe Hendry. Like, why couldn't Matt Cardona come into the picture? How does that even make any sense? So I don't get why Matt Cardona is not being signed. It's beyond me. That's the type of surprise we truly deserved, honestly. And I was disappointed by that because I expected more and better. Okay, so clearly I'm a little bit upset about some choices that WWE made at the Royal Rumble. I mean, who isn't? Let's talk about something that I am happy about from the Royal Rumble and 100% agree with this decision. And that is who the Iron Man of the Men's Royal Rumble was. And that was Penta. Great start to his run. I absolutely love that decision. WWE made a great call with that. That makes all the sense in the world. I couldn't think of a better man who could have made the Iron Man look so special this year, honestly. And of course, we have to acknowledge the man or men who had the most eliminations in the Royal Rumble this year, and that was actually tied at 4 eliminations between the one and only, the original Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns, and Jacob Fatu. So congrats to them. I have no complaints about it. I actually like a tie, especially it being someone from the original bloodline and the new bloodline. Interesting take on WWE there. I actually really like that. So there's some good news on the men's Royal Rumble for you. All right, that being said, let's move on to the women's Royal Rumble. Boy, am I unhappy about this one. First things first, why on earth did they ruin the return of the Queen, Charlotte Flair, a week before the Rumble? Is that what WWE is worried about now? Just trying to promote for viewership, for casual fans, instead of prioritizing the loyal diehard fans and not rewarding us with a surprise? Like, I can't even believe this. It was absolutely a terrible mistake on them. It completely took away from Charlotte winning at the Royal Rumble, because the reality is if they kept her as a surprise, it would have been way better. Because the reality is no one cares that Charlotte Flair won the Royal Rumble. So the least they could have done was keep her as a surprise to make it feel at least somewhat big. And you know what? I know that it is the first woman to ever win the Royal Rumble 2 times, making the history books look so good, making WWE look good. That's awesome for them. But if you ask me, that was a dud for us fans. And no, we don't care to see Charlotte Flair face Rhea Ripley for a 3rd time at WrestleMania. Hate to break that to you. Even if they did, I am completely over that. Don't care. Match has been overdone. Been there, done that. I'm over it. Don't want to see it. And I also don't care to see her face the NXT champ either, Julia. I'm sorry. But that leaves us with Tiffany Stratton. Now, that is definitely something that I'm into, and I think a good amount of the fans want. Charlotte and Tiffany are a great matchup. They could honestly put on some great promo battles. They're both great on the mic, so we do have some great potential in that. Depending on how they book Charlotte Flair moving forward in her Mania run as the Royal Rumble winner, they definitely have room to make some improvements and make things better from what has just happened this past weekend at the Royal Rumble. Although, if you ask me who should have won the Women's Royal Rumble, it should have 100% been Alexa Bliss. Everyone was excited about her return, and she's never won a Rumble. The crowd would have had a way bigger pop for a winner like Alexa Bliss. And WWE completely dropped the ball on this one for sure. Messed up putting Nikki Bella at number 30, especially knowing that everybody wanted to see an AJ Lee return. To then have Nikki Bella return at that number was just a mistake. Instead, put Alexa Bliss at that spot. It would have been great. The crowd would have went insane. So that being said, she 100% should have been a number 30 surprise for us. And that would have been better off because of the disappointment of not seeing AJ Lee wouldn't have taken over as much when they have Alexa Bliss coming up, who is obviously way more over than Nikki Bella. So don't get me wrong. I'm thrilled to see Nikki back in the ring, but I'm even more thrilled to see Alexa Bliss back. It doesn't mean that number 30 always has to be the greatest surprise, although in this case, it 100% should have been the biggest surprise we had, which was Alexa Bliss, due to the circumstances of the fans chanting AJ Lee all day long. Did you hear that crowd reaction for Alexa Bliss compared to Nikki Bella? Obviously, Alexa Bliss had a way bigger pop, so they should have 100% put her at number 30. Knowing how much we all love Alexa Bliss, we have to wonder what's next for her. And if you remember from the Rumble, Liv Morgan was the one who eliminated Alexa Bliss, so I'm definitely thinking maybe we'll see Wyatt Six versus the Judgment Day here soon. Speaking of Liv Morgan, she's another wrestler who could have definitely had a crazy reaction if she won her first ever Royal Rumble over Charlotte Flair. But unfortunately, this was not the year for her. Let's also acknowledge our Iron Woman of the 2025 Royal Rumble, and that was Roxanne Perez. Honestly, another great call by WWE. They did great with both the Iron Man and the Iron Woman this year, so I cannot complain about that. That's definitely something I'm happy about. about. She's definitely someone who deserves that title this year, and she definitely has a bright future, so I'm excited to see what WWE has in store for her. Hopefully they do great booking for her because she definitely deserves it. Now, the woman who had the most eliminations for the Royal Rumble this year was none other than Nia Jax at 9 eliminations. Not saying I'm happy about this, not saying I'm upset about it. Good for her, don't really care about her. That being said, thank you for joining in today, and if you enjoyed this video here, please like and subscribe for more wrestling content with your girl Anna here.